Ethan was a pizza delivery guy. The kind who always showed up on time, always ready to help. He'd been working at Mike's Pizza for 2 years without missing a shift. He was reliable, punctual, and dependable. So when he didn't show up for work the next day, people noticed. It wasn't like him. The night before, Ethan had one last delivery. A large pepperoni pizza with extra cheese. The order came in just before closing. Nothing unusual about that. The address? 13, Elmwood Lane. Ethan grabbed the pizza, tossed on his jacket, and left without complaint. Just another delivery. Or so he thought. Elmwood Lane was quiet that night. Too quiet. The houses were old, with peeling paint and overgrown lawns. A street that seemed forgotten by time. When Ethan pulled up to 13, it looked normal. At least, at first glance. A single porch light glowed, casting long shadows across the yard. The house itself looked tired, worn, but not abandoned. Ethan parked his bike, grabbed the pizza, and walked up to the front door. He knocked. The door opened almost immediately. A man stood there, smiling. Late 40s, maybe. Behind him, a woman and a little boy peeked out, their faces warm and welcoming. "Pizza's here," Ethan said, smiling back. "Great. Come on in, let me grab my wallet," the man replied, stepping aside. Ethan hesitated. But only for a moment. The next morning, Ted, the store manager, noticed something odd. Ethan's bike wasn't back. His shift had started hours ago, but there was no sign of him. Calls went unanswered. No messages. Ted pulled up the CCTV footage from the store. There was Ethan, riding off into the night with the pizza bag slung over his shoulder. Ted fast-forwarded. Ethan arrived at 13 Elmwood. He parked his bike, knocked on the door, and stepped inside. And that was it. Minutes passed. Then hours. Ethan never came out. Ted couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. He drove to Elmwood Lane, a security guard from a nearby patrol tagging along at his insistence. When they arrived, Ethan's bike was still there. Propped up against the fence, like it was waiting for its owner. Ted climbed the porch steps and knocked. No answer. He tried again. Louder this time. Silence. "I'm going in," Ted said, hand on the doorknob. The security guard grabbed his arm. "Hold up. You should call the cops first. This could be dangerous." Ted shook his head. "If Ethan's in there, I can't wait." Before the guard could stop him, Ted pushed the door open and stepped inside. An hour passed. The security guard stood outside, pacing nervously. Ted hadn't come back. He tried calling Ted's phone. Nothing. Another hour went by. And another. Finally, the guard called the police. When the authorities arrived, they searched the house. It was empty. Dusty furniture. Faded wallpaper. Nothing to suggest anyone had lived there in years. But they found Ted's phone lying on the floor. Next to it, a pizza box. Still warm. The CCTV footage from Ted's visit didn't make things clearer. It made them worse. It showed Ted walking up to the house, knocking, and stepping inside. But just like Ethan, he never came out. 13, Elmwood Lane remains empty. Ethan was never found. Neither was Ted. Some say the house is cursed. Others think it's something worse.